I'm Sang-won Lee from Seoul National University. I'm a colleague of Dr. Oh, and it's my great pleasure to introduce our registry named Korean Acute Heart Failure Registry on behalf of Dr. Oh and the investigators. The prevalence of heart failure is steadily growing due to an aging society and increased prevalence of increased risk factors such as ischemic heart disease, diabetes, and obesity, and so on. In addition, medical and surgical care for cardiovascular disease has been tremendously advanced, and it resulted in better survival from the initial cardiovascular events such as myocardial infarction. As you can see in this bar graph, the number of patients went to see doctors for heart failure increased 4.5% annually between 2009 to 2013 in Korea. Not only the number of patients, but also the medical cost for heart failure increased 50% between 2009 to 2013 in Korea. However, the management of acute heart failure syndrome is challenging given the diversity of patient population, lack of a generally accepted definition, incomplete understanding of the pathophysiology, and absence of robust evidence-based guidelines. Better understanding of the clinical characteristics of heart failure and the outcome, the progress predictors, and geographic variations, and also the diagnostic and therapeutic approaches undertaken in the routine practice, the adherence to the clinical guidelines, and will overcome those hurdles and improve the management of patients with heart failure. Thus, we established the first Korea Heart Failure Registry in 2004 and enrolled about 3,000 patients and followed about 2 years. The first registry gave us various critical information about heart failure in Korea, including prognosis and predictors of their outcomes. However, as 7 to 10 years have been passed, the society as well as the underlying disease pattern have been changing. Most of all, the population is getting older very rapidly in Korea, as you can see in these graphs. Ischemic heart disease and myocardial infarction cases are increasing in Korea. Management of some risk factors of heart failure has been changing in Korea. As you can see in these graphs, awareness, treatment, and control of hypertension improved tremendously in Korea these years, but those was not changed for diabetes. And awareness, treatment, and control of hypercholesterolemia also improved, while obesity has been increased, especially in the male. Therefore, we needed a new version of acute heart failure registry, and we also need a long-term follow-up study. So, this is a map of Korea modified according to the number of population. The area here represents the number of population, and the patient hospitalized in 10 regionally representative university teaching hospitals are participating in this registry. Those who had heart failure symptom, sign, and lung congestion or objective finding of LV systolic dysfunction or structural heart disease were enrolled in this registry, and there was no exclusion criteria. The study was designed to enroll at least 4,500 patients at the end of 2013, and we are going to follow up more than 3 years. So it is still ongoing for follow-up the patient. As the first interim analysis on April 2012, we analyzed 2,000 patients to check the quality of the data. On July 13 last year, we performed the second interim analysis to check the quality of data again and to generate hypotheses. At the beginning of this year, beyond the expectation, we have enrolled about 5,000 patients. This enrollment histogram shows that the enrollment was very constant and linear. The enrollment closed on March 2014. Total 5,700 subjects are screened. And after excluding those who did not fulfill the criteria and excluding duplication, total 5,600 individuals were enrolled in this registry. I think the key strength of our registry is the high quality of data. To assure the data quality, we introduced quality assurance system in RCTs. Data are monitored by independent data management team composed of cardiologists and nurses. They annually monitor the site and audited the site. All clinical events such as deaths and rehospitalization were monitored and verified by independent clinical event committee, which was composed of independent experts in heart failure not participating in this registry enrollment. Now I'm going to introduce the demographic and clinical characteristics of heart failure in our registry and compare them with other regions. Compared with other registries here, our registry was, the patient in our registry were younger than the patient from the developed countries, but older than those from Africa and Asia Pacific area. Those who had hypertension were less than most regions, except for Africa. And percent of comorbidities such as atrial fibrillation and chronic lung disease followed the pattern of age distribution. De novo heart failure was common, and systolic blood pressure at admission was lower than other registries, which were in agreement with the pattern of combined hypertension. This pie chart demonstrates the common cause of heart failure in our registry. 37% of heart failure are due to ischemic heart disease. Here, ischemic heart disease was defined by objective evidence of myocardial infarction or significant coronary artery disease. 21% were due to cardiomyopathies, mostly dilated cardiomyopathies. 14% was caused by valvular heart disease, and 11% were caused by tachycardia such as atrial fibrillation. So, four major causes of heart failure in Korea composed about 80% of heart failure in Korea. Compared with other registries, the interesting finding is that the hypertensive heart failure is very low in this registry. If we divide them by ejection fraction, 40% and 50%, hypertension as cause of heart failure was 3.1% in those with ejection fraction less than 40% and 6.0% in ejection fraction above 50%. Major aggravating factors of heart failure for index admission are ischemia and tachyarrhythmia and infection. These three major factors explained about 75% of all the admission. Now let's see the outcome and the predictors. The clinical outcome of heart failure patients who have been hospitalized were very poor in Korea too. In-hospital mortality rate was 5%. 1.3% had urgent heart transplantation. Median hospital stay was 9 days, and the medical costs for an admission was about $9,000, which is more expensive than an admission for lung cancer surgery in Korea. The length of stay and in-hospital mortality of our registry were about the average of other registries. If we look at the cause of in-hospital mortality in detail, about 84% of all in-hospital deaths were cardiovascular deaths, while 16% were non-cardiovascular deaths. Among the cardiovascular deaths, heart failure progression and cardiogenic shock was most frequent cause of all cardiovascular deaths, taking 60%, and acute coronary syndrome or myocardial infarction was the second frequent cause, taking about 30%. Only 4% patients died from sudden cardiac death. The most frequent non-cardiovascular deaths was infection. Cause of non-cardiovascular deaths was infection, including pneumonia, sepsis, and other infection. Then what's the mortality predictors? The most important parameter was renal function. The hazard ratio of newly detected renal failure at this admission was about 15. And the known chronic renal failure had hazard ratio of 6.5. Low blood pressure was also important predictors as in other studies. In contrast, those who admitted due to non-compliance and high BMI had a better outcome. At discharge, about 5% patients after discharge, about 5% died in 90 days, and 14% patients re-hospitalized to spend another $9,000. Now let's move to current therapeutic approaches undertaken in the routine practice of cardiologists for heart failure in Korea and see the adherence to the clinical guidelines. We checked medication profile at admission, during hospitalization, and at discharge. At discharge point, ACE inhibitor and ARB were prescribed in 2/3 of the patient, beta blockers in 50% patients, and aldosterone antagonist in 45% patients. Compared with other registries of developed countries, prescription rate of beta blocker are lower, but it is similar or higher than Africa or Asia-Pacific countries. During admission for acute heart failure, the rate of IV diuretics use were lower, while the rate of IV inotropes were very much higher. And this might be related to the lower blood pressure at admission, as I mentioned in previous slide. So there is no evidence to guide inotropes or nitrates and diuretics in acute heart failure. Recent ESC guideline suggested to use parenteral diuretics for those with pulmonary edema or congestion. Then consider inotropes or vasodilators according to the systolic blood pressure at admission. In our registry, about 80% patients had pulmonary edema, or lung congestion, and among them, 80% received parenteral diuretics. If we divide patients in 3 groups, according to the initial blood pressure, inotropes are used in about 2/3 of patients with systolic blood pressure less than 85 mm mercury, but also used in a quarter of patients with systolic blood pressure higher than 110 mm mercury. Also, nitrates were used in about 50% patients with high blood pressure group, but also used in about 30% with low blood pressure. In this registry, blood was transfused about in 20% of patients, and mechanical ventilation was used in about 15% patients. One of the most interesting findings compared with the other registry is infrequent use of non-pharmacological treatments such as CRT and ICD. The rate of CRT and ICD implantation was lower than the use of heart transplantation. The data from our registry altogether will help to improve the management of patients with heart failure. But the registry performance improvement tools have been shown to directly improve the quality of care and outcome of patients with heart failure. Though our registry was not designed to have performance improvement tools, when we compare the adherence to guideline, directed medical therapy before and after interim analysis and its publication, we can see the prescription rate of beta blocker and aldosterone antagonist became increased significantly, though the blood pressure at discharge was not significantly different. In summary, compared with other registries, Korean patients are relatively younger. Half of patients are new onset. The prevalence of hypertension was as comorbidity was low, and hypertensive heart failure was also low. Blood pressure at admission was low. It may explain why we used IV diuretics and less frequently, and why we used inotropes more frequently. Non-pharmacological treatments like ICD and CRT was less used in our registries. Ischemia was both the major cause and major aggravating factor of heart failure admission. In-hospital mortality was about 6%, including urgent heart transplantation, and the heart failure socioeconomic burden was very high, and we found several predictors of in-hospital mortality which was similar to other registries. Thank you for your attention.